We're in the midst of a huge opportunity thanks to AI. I launched a business a few months ago and I'm running full marketing, podcast, SEO, blog, content, social media, spending maybe 4 or 5 hours a week, not because I'm some productivity guru, because I built an AI marketing team inside of Claude Code. We're at the beginning of a revolution. There's a window right now. In 2012, people who got on SEO early are still ranking today. Right now, that same window is open for AI marketing, and I don't know when it will close. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you the exact strategies that are working and then go deep on the exact system I use, the actual workflow and how everything connects. You may have noticed I'm a new YouTuber. A like really goes a long way for such a small channel, so I'd appreciate if you could do that. And let me know in the comments if you have any feedback. Thank you. All right, let me run through some of the strategies that are working right now. I'll go quick here because I want to spend most of our time in the deep dive. Firstly, we have lead magnets. You can build a calculator, a guide, an audit tool, something that gives instant value. You vibe code it in an afternoon, embed it on your site, capture emails. You can then use those emails to put them in a drip campaign or reach out to them directly. These are now warm leads. One of our clients, Conduit, did this last week. Within just a few days, he got 108 leads and $2.4 million in pipeline by posting a lead magnet that took him just 37 minutes to create. Plus, not only are these a great way to convert traffic, I've seen some tools get hundreds or even thousands of backlinks because other sites will link to the tool if they're writing guides or stuff like that. This is fantastic for your site overall SEO. Trend monitoring. You can set up a system that scrapes industry news and summarizes what's relevant. From there, you've got options. You could automate a weekly newsletter that goes out to your list. You could create a weekly wrap-up post on social media, or you could use it to find prospects. When a company announces funding or a new hire, that's a signal. You can do account-based outreach at the right moment. Programmatic SEO. You can create hundreds or thousands of pages targeting long-tail keywords, which is important for AEO. I actually made a video about that if you want to watch it. AEO is answer engine optimization, basically AI version of SEO. For example, you could do an article about best CRM for dentists, best CRM for accountants. In Portugal, you can go really far on either industry keywords or location and geo keywords. AI generates unique content for each page. You publish it, wait for indexing, traffic compounds over time. And because these pages are so specific that you're covering the exact pain points of the visitor, this typically leads to a higher conversion rate. Now, content repurposing. This is the one I use the most. Taking one piece of original content, like a podcast episode, and turning it into many. Blog articles, social posts, video clips, newsletters, one input, dozens of outputs. I want to dive deep here because it's the most practical for most businesses, and it's at the core of how I run marketing in just a few hours a week. Now, before we go on, all this marketing you're about to generate still needs to convert. If you want a website that actually does that, book a call with us at Nexus Creative. Links below, but let me show you the system. First, I need to explain why content repurposing works so well, because people that do AI marketing usually do it wrong. Search engines and social platforms are hungry for original content. But if you just ask AI to write a blog post, it's pulling from what's already out there. It's remixing existing content. Nothing new, and algorithms can tell. But if you record your own perspective or talk to someone with a unique point of view, that raw material is genuinely original. It doesn't exist anywhere else. Then AI transforms it into different formats. So what counts as source material? It could be a voice note where you talk through your expertise for 10 minutes. It could be a journal entry about a lesson you've learned. It could be a client meeting you recorded. Anything where you or someone else is sharing original perspective. I chose podcasts for a specific reason. When you reach out to your ICP and say, I'd love to have you on my podcast, that's a completely different conversation than cold outreach trying to sell your services. It's relationship building. You create a warm connection with potential clients or partners, and you also get content out of it. Then they usually share it with their own network, so it's just bonus upon bonus. So for me, the podcast is doing double duty. It's marketing and it's business development, but the AI repurposing system works with any original source. All right, let me walk you through the actual workflow. First, we have the prep. Before I record, I run a skill that does guest research. I give it the guest's name, their company, maybe a LinkedIn profile. It pulls their background, recent work, any interviews they've done. Then it generates tailored questions. This used to take me an hour or two. Now it takes me 5 minutes. To create skills like these and the next ones I talk about, you can literally just ask Claude Code or Cowork to make it for you. Tell it what you want, give it some examples, and it will write the skill. Then I record. This is a part that can't be automated. This is where the original content comes from, the guest perspective. My follow-up questions, the tangents, all of that is unique. I get a transcript at the end, and that's what feeds into everything else. In step 3, I run a skill that reads a transcript, identifies the most compelling moments, and suggests titles, descriptions, and thumbnails optimized for YouTube and podcast platforms. It gives me options. I pick the one that feels right. Now here's where it gets good. Step 4 is actually a chain of mini skills working together. One does keyword research to find the right angle, one plans the structure, one writes a draft, another reviews the content, it sends it back with feedback until it passes the criteria, sort of going in a loop. One optimizes for SEO, and lastly, it publishes to Webflow automatically. The output is a long-form blog post that keeps a guest voice, pulls the best quotes, and is structured for search. And because it's based on real conversations, it doesn't feel like AI slop. For this next one, I'll be honest, I'm still figuring out the best way to do this with Claude Code. For automated clipping, I've been using Opus Clips. It works well enough, but the skill I do have reads a transcript and suggests which moments would work as short-form clips. Timestamps, hooks, why it thinks that moment would perform. Then it's quite straightforward to extract the clip. Finally, the social skill. It takes key insights from the transcripts and turns them into native posts for LinkedIn and Twitter, different formats for each platform. I review them, pick the best ones, and schedule. These posts perform way better than if you would ask an AI to create a social post without giving it original content. So, one podcast episode, maybe 30 minutes of recording plus prep time. From that, I get a full episode with optimized metadata, a long-form blog article, clip suggestions, and a batch of social posts. So, how do you build this yourself? Honestly, start small. Pick one, the output you need most. Maybe it's LinkedIn posts, maybe it's a blog article. Ask Claude Code or Cowork to create it for you. Tell it your brand voice, your audience, the formats you want. Give it examples of content you like, and it will generate the skill. Run it a few times. The first outputs, they won't be perfect. That's fine. Tweak the skill, add guardrails, tell it what to avoid. And here's a tip that made a big difference for me. Create a feedback file and tell Claude to update it at the end of each session. So when you say, that was too formal, or I liked how you did that one, it writes that down. And each time it references that file automatically. That system learns from your feedback and improves over time. If you want me to share my actual skills so you can use them as a starting point, leave a comment below. I'm happy to send them over. So that's how I run marketing for a business in a few hours a week. One piece of original content, a chain of skills that transform it, and a system that compounds. All this traffic still needs somewhere to convert. That's what we build at Nexus Creative. If you want a website that turns visitors into revenue, book a call below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.